Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan, and I am joined by my buddy Carter.
Hello.
He also runs a channel, Jinx
do,
Everywhere.
when I post.
Yeah, it's been a while since you posted. But today I wanted to do a video talking about Dark Universe. Halloween is like our favorite time of year. We love all things horror, classic Universal monsters. I have to talk about this.
It's my most anticipated land for all of Epic Universe.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and because of that, I hit up Carter this morning. I'm like, let's talk about Dark Universe.
Yep.
We have to. So we're gonna react to the video. We've already seen the video, but we're just gonna give our thoughts and everything on it, just like I did that video with Christian with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So same kind of scenario here. If you hear random noises in the background, it's just creatures. There's just creatures driving cars. There's creatures running the air conditioning. There's creatures doing things.
Sitting on a tree over
yeah,
there.
there's literally
Two
over here,
little
there's
creatures.
There's creatures. So it's on brand today.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's just dive into Dark Universe at Epic Universe. Also, if you're not aware of what all this is, Epic Universe is an all-new theme park opening up at Universal Orlando Resort next year, 2025. They did say summer of 2025 before, but they've removed that since. So a lot of us are thinking it's going to be opening up early. And recently, they just showed off one of their other worlds. There's 5 theme worlds at Epic Universe, and this is one of them, Dark Universe. This has been my most anticipated, world out of all of them. Same with Carter. I mean, it's
a theme park landscape, right? You know, with Disney, it's they've been wanting to do villains, and fans have been wanting to do villains forever. And the same thing with the Universal monsters is we've had attractions before featuring the Universal monsters, but a whole land dedicated to something mysterious, a little bit evil, scary, is a new territory for theme parks. So that's why it's so exciting, at least for me.
Same. I think it's exciting as well. I think this is going to be one of the coolest lands or worlds, Universal's calling them worlds, that we've seen in a long time. So without further ado, let's just run it.
Let's do it.
When this we actually stayed up really late to watch this, and it didn't drop when we were thinking it was going to drop.
We thought they were going to drop it at 6 a.m. their time, so we stayed up till 3. Then we stayed up till 4, and then we were like, it's time to go to bed.
We're like, okay, and then they finally dropped it, and then we got this gorgeous video of all the concept renderings. Go ahead and pause it real quick. This particular creative person talks about how, when you think of Universal, you think of the classic monsters. And she's absolutely right. When you think of Universal, you think of the classic Universal monsters.
Universal invented the horror movie, right? They invested the classic monsters. So for them, over 100 years from when the original classic monsters hit the silver screen, to reinvent them into a whole new entertainment environment is just a challenge on itself. And can't be more hyped.
And I'm glad that even the creative team recognizes that. Like, the company recognizes their history. They get it. They go, okay, this. If it wasn't for the monsters, they wouldn't be around. Like, let's be real. The monsters saved Universal.
Made Universal.
I mean, they were going to go bankrupt without the monsters, and then who knows what would have happened. But the monsters definitely saved Universal. So just right off the bat, in the first part of the video, what that creative person said, when I think of Universal, I think of the monsters, and she's absolutely right. And there's a few creative people talking in here about, what we're about to see. I really hope that there's a creature from the Black Lagoon
better be a
ride,
creature.
in the future.
They've done Creature so dirty at all Halloween Horror Nights, so I really hope we get Creature in the ride.
Gregory Hall, this guy right here, so genius.
Such a genius. Incredible guy, Hulk,
Velocicoaster,
do you remember the day the vehicle drop for Velocicoaster hit the internet, and we all were like,
we were going crazy. I remember the opening day, like when we were all there opening day at Universal Orlando enjoying it. That ride is killer, and the fact that this guy is working on Dark Universe as well is like, heck
it's
yeah.
Huge.
It's going to be great.
Also, I just want to point out in this shot, in the corner off to the right hand side, you can see a mock-up. A little model.
The ride
it's
vehicle.
A 2-seater ride vehicle, it looks like, but it could be. We don't know how.
Do you think it's more like it's just blocked by the computer screen?
It could be. It could be. We'd have to wait and find out, right? But I think, for capacity reasons, that at least maybe 3, possibly 4 in a row.
Yeah.
But creatives will do this sometimes where they'll mock up 2 vehicles and they'll replicate them in a whole row. And we don't know. That vehicle looks so cool. It has like little spikes on top of it,
and like the padding on the back is like shaped like a coffin.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But yeah,
you're strapped into a coffin.
Yeah, you're strapped into a coffin, and Gregory Halls is on this project. It's it's gonna be good.
And the other model in the back too, it looks like it's a scenic element that's in the ride that we'll see later on in the video too. So
and we'll talk about that a little bit
This
later.
shot alone just gives us like, yes.
Oh yeah, it's like already exciting. And there's even a shot of the concept of the castle in the background too. By the way, the view count on this video is about to match that of Super Nintendo World's reveal, which tells you everything you need to know about the popularity of monsters. And I know all those creators that doubted the Monster Land. I know who you are. And I said from the beginning, I'm like, this is gonna be it. People are gonna be flocking to this thing.
You can't do monsters because it's for kids.
Yeah,
no.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go back. That piece of concept art was sick right there too. The overview of the entire land. That right there.
Actually, no. Let's go back.
Oh,
the entry portal. Let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah, the entry portal is. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
Like, even look on the side, because there's obviously the main focal point is the entry portal into the world, but like off to the sides, you can see that gate off to the side. That's like a cemetery gate. At least from what we've been seeing from Bioreconstruct's photo, which by the way, shout out to Bioreconstruct.
Does great work
with the coverage. Yeah, we're able to get like these bird's eye views into Epic Universe. Even in his photos, you can see that all the portals have like a secondary entry or exit point, and I think that's just for like.
It's for flow.
It's for flow, egress, safety reasons. I'm sure they're not going to... You have to... In the event that they need to evac the park or whatever, and they need to get people out of a world particularly fast, then there's like these secondary points. But besides that, the main focal point is incredible. This is one of the first ones we saw.
Yeah.
In construction.
In construction, this was one of the first ones that went up. You can kind of tell, like, with Nintendo, what it was gonna be and, like, their creative vision for the Nintendo portal. But this one, it was apparent from the jump, from the aerial imagery that we were getting online. This land is truly, like, it's gonna be something special.
Oh, yeah.
Going back all the way to, like, the Frankenstein's monsters and... The electricity is
the Tesla coil and everything.
Yeah, the Tesla coil and that art direction throughout the entire land. That's not just in the entrance, but throughout the entire land is this Tesla coil with electricity and it's pulsating energy. And
yeah, in the video, there's all this power that's being generated from the portal that you'll see is flowing through the little fictional town, the little village they got going on, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Which is Darkmoor. But yeah, I mean, this piece of concept art is beautiful. There's so many little details in the portal.
It seems like from the concept art to the archway too.
Yeah.
Above it, it says "It's alive, it's alive."
Yeah, I think all the portals have like little quotes or something above them. And okay, one thing, obviously, there's 2 points here that in the concept art that really draw your eye, and it's the Tesla coil like structure at the top of it that is drawing all that energy with the tree roots. Gorgeous idea with the tree roots kind of growing in it. But the portal itself, when you walk through it, this green kind of hue they got going on.
It's drawing you into the land.
Yeah. In the video, they show it as purple, so I'm wondering what the final color is going to be. But it's looking like they have like a video wall around this thing.
Yeah.
So when you're walking in to all the portals, it's going to have this really cool effect.
Kind of reminds me of Super Nintendo World in Hollywood with
the lights.
With the lights when you enter the the warp pipe and it dun 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 that kind of thing. Maybe similar with here.
This might be more advanced,
Probably way more advanced. I wouldn't be surprised. Some fog or steam or.
Well, it's funny you say that because in some of Bioreconstruct's latest photos, we do see fog near the entrance portal. So they're testing out some fog, which fog is like a water-based fog, and it dissipates very quickly, but it's easier to put in like theme park settings. It's the same kind of fog that when you're going on Pirates of the Caribbean, when you're in the battleship scene or the battle scene, that's all meat fog in there, and it looks like they're doing that here as well. But yeah, this portal, you're gonna hear this word a lot. Epic.
It's epic.
It's epic.
It's
gorgeous.
It's epic. It's gorgeous. It's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, like right off the bat, that's the thing. Like when we want a villain's land or a monster's land, like there's things there that we as fans need, and so far, just at the entry point,
it looks intimidating.
It's intimidating.
Yep.
It's very dark and mysterious.
Yep.
Just with the portal alone, I'm stoked to see what the final product looks like. Yep. Once all the trees are in and the greenery around it, the hardscape is done.
The other thing that like is apparent, like on the little the yellow flowers.
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of line it. They're of course calling back to Frankenstein's monster.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's probably gonna be some
flowers. It's that's gonna be woven through the entire land beautifully.
And like the sound effects too. Okay, yeah. See here.
So this
is where they show it as purple.
Yeah, and it does say it's alive. It's alive.
So maybe purple will be. I mean, I kind of dig the green though too. The green's pretty cool. Again, green's my favorite color, so I'm a little biased. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it looks like it's kind of like, remember the in Tiana's.
Oh yeah.
It kind of looks like, so if they do like
Bayou Magic.
fog, if they do meat fog on the perimeter of the portal, and then they shine light, so it's this really cool practical effect. It's not like straight lighting. Like that's what this is giving. It's giving like fog.
There might be some more elements.
Light.
Yeah, because it looks like just one big video wall will be around it, but yeah, if they can do some atmospherics, that'd be kind of cool. And then yeah, this is where they're showing that like all this energy is flowing through Darkmoor all the way up until the castle. Yeah, this shot right here.
Cool.
At night, this is gonna be insane.
Yes.
This is gonna be insane.
The one thing that probably won't be there is the bats, though.
Who at this point?
Who knows? Who knows? The bats might be there. Drone technology is real, Dylan.
You know, Brian Roberts, who's the CEO of Universal and Comcast, he's probably like, "Screw it, we could do the bats too, right?
We can do the bats.
How much is that going to cost? Do it. I don't care. We've already spent $10 billion on this park anyway." Yeah, this shot of the castle, that castle, and then here's the concept art of like the overall view of Darkmoor, which is the village that we're walking through. And I love, like, upon the entry portal, like, once you walk through the portal, there's, like, a little curve, like, it's an S curve into the land. Yeah. So it kind of blocks off some of the sight lines. So it's a little bit more of a surprise, and it already gets you in that mood going into Darkmoor, which I think they'll show off here in the next few clips. But, yeah, I mean, this is...
You can kind of see that exit that we were talking about earlier with it exiting out.
Yeah, and then also, I was saying this before, I don't know if, like, we talked about this, but... This, like, you can see the smoke coming off of the chimneys, and this land or world reminds me of if Nocturne Alley and Court of Miracles had a baby. You know, Court of Miracles at Universal where the monster movie started.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, like, this is, if you took those two areas, because if
you just put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yep.
And for those that have never been to Universal Studios Florida in Diagon Alley, there's an interior section that is called Nocturne Alley, and it's gorgeous in there, and it has some great AC too. But this is like that.
The first time I ever went in Nocturne Alley, I want a whole land like this.
Here you go.
Give me everything like this.
This is what it reminds me of. And yeah, you have those hints of Court of Miracles in there, like where it and I'm sure that's probably where they got some of the inspiration. Again, that's where the monster movie started. And off in the distance, you could see the werewolf coaster. We didn't really know too much about what the final look of that was going to be. So it's cool to see in concept. They had to have some really colorful sections over there for the...
That's the colorful sections of like, what is going on?
I wonder if they did that on purpose because this is supposed to be a family ride.
Probably.
And they want the kids to be a little bit more comfortable. Probably. It's still going to... I mean, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. But also in the shot, the Burning Blade Tavern.
The windmill.
My God.
The windmill.
They did it. They did it. I can't believe it. They're gonna do.
The first attempt was a dragon on top of Gringotts Bank.
Yep.
And it breathed fire, but the dragon didn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're building a windmill that's gonna catch on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna move.
Every 20 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Every 20 minutes, that thing is gonna ignite.
And the guests are just gonna stand there, and they're just gonna drop their bill that they got in the tavern.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna be like, oh, that just lit on fire.
I'm gonna be crying in front of it with my Blinky cup, my Halloween Horror Nights Blinky cup, just crying in front of it, going, "This is epic.
Yep.
This is so good."
This is exactly what we want.
Yeah, this is It's a very tiny world, but I think this is maybe on purpose because it is. At the end of the day, this is something very risky.
Yeah.
Because you're not really sure how the public's going to perceive it, but just based on the numbers of people watching this video, they might accelerate some expansion.
So there was more writing on this land, I would say, than any other land in the whole park, because this is the most. We haven't really touched this before. We haven't really done this before. How will the market react to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, going back to we're going to talk about in a second. Werewolf, right? Mm-hmm. They needed something for kids, so the family coaster was the obvious choice.
Yeah, and in the concept art, before we move on, as we're still talking about the concept art here, in the original piece that when we first saw the park, it looked like there was a theater in this spot. There's a big show building of something, and it kind of looked like
2019.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a theater. So there might have been plans to do a big stage show, but I think the addition of an extra ride was a good move.
Yeah,
it's a kiddie coaster, which again is perfect because a lot of people were giving that ride some bad rap earlier on, but I think they really thought about this. Like, what can we do for the kids?
It's definitely a weird choice.
Yeah, it's
definitely a weird choice, and we'll get more into it, I think,
when we
get to that section. But it's definitely it's a weird choice, as in Fly the Hippogriff is a weird choice that we keep putting Fly the Hippogriff into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, even though we've built it several times. It works because it's a kid's ride. It needs to be there. It needs to serve its purpose. And it does that. It attracts that audience. So.
Yeah, and then the village, the lighting just in the concept art is really gorgeous. So I can't wait to see what the final lighting design is going to be. Yeah, overall this piece of concept art is great.
Overall, too, is the concept art. It is reminding me of the first concept art we got for Hogsmeade. Right?
Oh yeah.
And that's what that's what the land reminds me of. Right? It's let's take the Hogsmeade idea. Mm-hmm. And let's put monsters over it. Yeah. And let's take the Potter formula that we've known and we've tried and tested it, and we know it works. And let's put monsters on it. Let's put a classic Universal Monsters IP over it, and let's see how it does. And that's what this concept art gives me. It reminds me of Hogsmeade Village. At the end of the land, you have this giant castle, and off to the side, you have a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this park's Hogsmeade, I guess.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Say, yeah.
Okay, that right there. I'm gonna love walking into this. Already feels like claustrophobic in concept. Like when they're showing us going through the S curve into Darkmoor, it looks like we're going through an old cemetery that has been going through it because the earth is definitely being screwed up here. It looks like there's been some earthquakes or something happening.
I mean, look at those gravestones.
Oh, the gravestones
that line the greenery, and it's just like something happened here.
Oh yeah, something bad happened, and there's like coffins sticking out of the dirt and everything. When you look at the photos from Bioreconstruct as well, they're matching this concept art, which I appreciate, and it's so hard to do. Is to match that concept art, because we know another company not too far from Universal Orlando that will show some concept art, and then you end up getting a product that's like completely different. And I
Tiana's.
Get it. Yeah, Tiana's, Epcot. But and hey, we get it. Carter and I are huge theme park fans. We know that companies will cut budgets and companies got to do what they got to do. Camp Snoop.
It's not finished. It probably will get done in the next few months here.
Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But like with this though, they're showing this concept art, and when you look at the photo, the aerial photos,
what it's gonna look like.
This is it. They're not straying away from the vision. Right. This is right when we walk through the portal. and OMG, it looks good.
You have a giant tombstone along with a bunch of little tombstones and just greenery and then skeletons
right
on top of the... Do you know Evermore? Have you heard of Evermore?
I've heard of Evermore.
So this kind of reminds me of Evermore, but if Evermore was done correctly.
They're like, hey, Evermore's closed, and we're going to steal all your ideas.
Well, Evermore was like a D&D land.
Yeah.
And as we get more into Darkmoor, right, it reminded me kind of as... let's do Universal Monsters, but with D&D.
It's definitely got some Evermore vibes.
Yeah.
This is a good entry statement, and we're going to see some interesting pavement here as well. And another thing that I really love that Universal's spending the money on are fully matured trees.
It will be a little in the first couple months, like the Galaxy's Edge effect, right? But it won't take as long as Galaxy's Edge took to grow out. And even Galaxy's Edge now, it looks new.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the greenery in the land. It looks like it just got planted.
Yeah, whereas with this, a lot of the plants that they're a lot of the trees that they're bringing into Epic Universe have already been fully grown, and that's expensive.
That's not cheap.
Yeah,
that's really
for
not
those
cheap.
that are not aware. Yeah, that is a creative decision that was approved that was probably difficult to approve at first.
Oh yeah,
because
you want to spend how much on good trees?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on trees. That would not be... if they said, like, oh, yeah, we spent $400 million on fully mature trees, I'd be like, oh, I can see that.
Yeah,
because
totally.
in this, it already looks like this, and it's not even done yet.
Not just for Dark Universe. That's all of Epic Universe.
The entire park,
Yeah. And if you look... And if some lands all more foliage heavy, this is probably the most foliage.
I would say, yeah.
This and Celestial...
Yeah,
I can
Celestial
never
Park.
pronounce that correctly.
Yeah,
but
Celestial Park is probably 1, and then this one's 2, and then How to Train Your Dragon 3.
And then Nintendo and Poddle doesn't really look that
they don't really have trees
much.
But this is going to be really
this
pretty.
Is the entrance statement, right? This is, and it's that gradual build up. I love theme parks lands that do gradual build ups. It's not just like it shoves you everything to face. Like those have its place. Like when you enter Galaxy's Edge through the side, through the Fantasyland entrance. That's a great transition.
Yeah.
But like when you enter a Galaxy's Edge through Criddle Country, and it's like gradual, slow build up.
That's a good one too.
It reminds me of this, and it's going to like you see little things, and then as you get further into the land, you get to the castle. You get to the boarding windmill. And it's just so good. Yeah,
this is already really, really good on first entry. Or the entry statement, that idea is already there. And like there's little details, like there's skeletons like hanging on poles and stuff. Like there's like things that like there's these ripped up flags. Like we don't really know what's going on here because in the video, the creative people did say that this is all taking place after the monster stories.
Yeah.
And this is not like a particularly good result, like the monsters wreaked a lot of havoc on a lot of villages. So Darkmoor's obviously a friendlier place now, but this is a result of not so friendly things in the past. And you can see that in the architecture. Like there's things that are like literally falling apart. Even right here in the entrance where the marquee sign is for Darkmoor, you can see that the rockwork is falling.
Was ripped off.
Yeah, it looks like there was something that hit it, or there was a catastrophic event that destroyed that entrance. And here's again that shot. That shot is beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
It takes your breath away.
I'm probably gonna pass out when I get through the S curve.
You're gonna cry.
I'm totally gonna cry. This is like, I'm gonna say it. I know some of the Disney people are gonna get on me for this. This is like Tokyo Disney level kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. Like a lot of people are like, no, you can't beat Disney Sea. I'm like, I don't know. Like they were able to do that back in 2001. I think it's definitely possible. The problem is not a lot of companies are willing to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, it's
but
expensive.
With this is what you would see at Tokyo Disney Sea.
And even with the new investments at Tokyo Disneyland, right? It's Fantasy Springs, which is this grand rock walk with this beautiful water fountains and all these water features, right? This gives me that vibe. I walked into, like, I've been fortunate enough. I've gotten to see Fantasy Springs.
I have yet to see it.
I got to experience Fantasy Springs. So
even Michael saw it.
Even Michael saw it. One of the things that I took away from Fantasy Springs was this is what Villains needs to be.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if monsters can give me this vibe, but in a dark setting,
yeah,
that's what this is. Like, that's what the art direction, and that's what it should be. And this concept art gives me that hope. This concept art is exactly what I think when a monster's land is put on the table.
Yeah, it's very dark, macabre. The color scheme here is like deep blacks and charcoal grays. Mm-hmm. That's what we want, and this looks to be some sort of castle wall, maybe surrounding the village. That again,
that got torn by a monster.
Yeah, something happened. Talk about a great entry statement. This is a really cool entry statement.
And Darkmoor, the name Darkmoor.
Yeah, it's great.
Brilliant. It's so brilliant.
So good.
And like I said earlier about, like, it gives kind of that D&D-esque vibe to it with monsters. The name Darkmoor?
Yeah.
Hats off. Bowing down.
I hope they have t-shirts. Darkmoor t-shirt. I live in Darkmoor or something.
I live in Darkmoor.
I will buy all of
Universal's Monsters Darkmoor.
Yeah, but this shot, especially, and this is like all, they do a lot of like sunset shots in the concept art, which again, this land's probably going to really shine at sunset and into the evening. Beautiful setting, and I hope that...
Is it on the sunset side of the park?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
We'll find that out.
Let's continue here. And I think next is like a fly-through. There's also a lot of Easter eggs behind that gentleman. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the fly-through. I mean, yeah, look at that. That shot right there
so
of
cool.
The entrance marquee for the main e-ticket attraction, which is a dark ride.
The vines on the entry portal.
Oh yeah, like the pillars and stuff. Yeah, the overgrowth is really good, and it's not just on the front entrance portal; it's throughout the entire village and then the castle as well. I'm wondering if we're gonna see that inside too. Like, I wonder if there's gonna be like a cool moment inside where like maybe a tree broke through the ground or something. And at this point, I'm sure they've thought about it.
Well, going back to like the gravestones on the entrance statement, look at what lines the ground here. It looks like what?
It's like really
spikes,
jagged rocks,
jagged rock tile spikes,
which is dual design. This is a dual purpose here. It looks cool, but it also prevents people from sitting on the
Don't sit on the wall,
because when we're walking up to the castle here, you can see from Bioreconstruct's photos, this is elevated a bit. There's like a moat down at the bottom. I don't know if it's going to be filled with water, or it might be...
It probably will.
Wouldn't that be... Oh my god, this would be sick. What if they did the same treatment as Indiana Jones in Tokyo, where there's like skeletons?
There's just a ton of skeletons.
Oh man.
If you've never been to Tokyo Disney Sea and gone on their version of Indiana Jones, superior Indiana Jones, first off. But in the queue, spoiler alert, if click out. If you don't like spoilers, why are you watching this video? This is why are you watching this video? But spoiler alert for Indiana Jones at Tokyo Disney Sea. In the queue for it, you go up the ramp, and it was like, I was shocked when I saw this. You go up the ramp, and you're looking over the railing, and there's just hundreds of skeletons.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, we could never do that in the American parks, and I hope they prove me wrong.
I mean, there's already skeletons at the front entrance.
Yeah.
So
but if they just have a ton, like, I can't think of like the classic cartoon, but like just an animal like throwing a skeleton.
Oh, yeah, just a bunch of bones.
And it's just like piles of skeletons. If they do that in the moat instead of waddle, no one will complain.
No.
If they do that with waddle, we will like it even better.
I was about to say that would be an even better result. But again, this shot, gorgeous. The entrance marquee for this attraction. They did a really good job. It's not just some generic like sign. They were like, no, let's build a miniature version of the castle in front of the ride. So yeah, this is really nice. Okay. Here's my one worry though. I've been worried about this. There are some sightline issues at Epic Universe, and one of them is right here. So when you're looking at this, you obviously see a beautiful facade. And on the left-hand side is fine. There's going to be a lot of trees. There's really no sightline issues there. But on the right-hand side, there is the show building for the attraction. And they don't even show it in this. So I'm hoping that they plant some really big trees and they finish the hardscape, because they are working on some hardscape over there. So I'm hoping they do something to blend it to where the focal point is not in that corner, because that's gonna be brutal if we can see that.
It's that, and if you're gonna have unthemed show building, the least you can do
paint it
is just either paint it, or not even that. You gotta put the fake brick, just flat fake brick.
Yeah, which in the preview center, they do show the show building with a paint scheme on it. So
good.
I think that if they've thought about all these other little details, I'm sure they've thought about this, but it is starting to worry about. I am worrying about it as a fan of all this stuff, and we're nerds at the end of the day. Like we nitpick a lot of this stuff, but that's my only concern right here. Everything else, though,
and I think that concern is valid, right?
Yeah.
Just looking at the Super Nintendo World in Hollywood.
Yeah, there's some gnarly sightlines.
Gnarly sight. With the Comcast building behind Mount Beanpole, that is the first time you see that, you're like, oh.
And hey, they did a good job trying to hide it.
Yeah.
I mean, to put Mount Beanpole in that position, because they knew the build. Like, you have it's 800-foot tall building right there. What are you going to do? It was a good decision to put that.
It was
there.
Yeah.
But when you traverse Nintendo, you do start to see it.
You do start to see it, and then when you go on the second story for the ride, you do see like the outside. There's only so much you can do, but when it comes to like this, because it's a ground up, the walking with a flat plane, I think the sightlines will be fine. I think if there's a couple places in the land where it will break, walking to the theme parks, like that's
at the end of the day,
modern theme parks, that's what it is.
I'm not tripping about it too much at the end of the day, because I mean, hey, look at Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster's going like right next to Hogsmeade, and I'm not worried about it. It doesn't bother me. I think it looks kind of cool, honestly.
Well, unfortunately, past the days of Tower of Terror sightlines with Morocco and Epcot.
That's very difficult to do. But you know what? I will applaud Universal for doing what they can do, because it is expensive, and they're doing a lot already. So if there is going to be a little tiny sightline issue, I'll forgive it, whatever. But I'm a little concerned in this corner. Okay, this piece of concept art is really cool. The concept art in general in the video is really good.
Remember the Yeti?
This reminds everyone of the Yeti.
How can it not?
Yeah. Now, I don't think this is what... I don't think it's going to be anything like the Yeti, though.
No, I don't think so either. And later in the video where they show some like a Wolfman figure, I don't think that's for this. I think that's for the big ride. That's why they showed it in the big ride segment. I don't think this is gonna be like the Yeti at all. I think the internet's of course looking at the Yeti, because we all want a walking Yeti in Florida.
Everest,
but this is like the equivalent of, if you look at the concept art for Everest back in the day, and you look at this, it's very identical. It's very similar. And if it can lunge out and try to swipe at a guest, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we have no idea what this figure is going to look like. I'm leaning more towards, I think you as well. Yeah. I'm leaning more towards that this will be a static figure. That really won't have too much movement to it, just because it's a coaster and we're kind of going through the swing launch a little bit faster. Now when they were building this and we found out that it was going to be a swing launch, I thought that the coaster train was going to stop in the show scene. And there was going to be an element in here, and then it would continue the swing launch through the rest of the course.
Right.
But from video that we've seen, it looks like this does not stop in this section of the ride. So I can see why. Why would we waste all this money on an animatronic? You know?
Right, and it's something that we've seen in the past. Do we want it to be an animatronic? Yes.
Absolutely.
Do we want all the baby on sticks on Incredicoaster to be animatronics? Yes. Just a little movement. Come on, Disney. But, like, do we want it to move a little bit? Yes. But if you look at all the figures on Velocicoastal, even Hagrid's, they don't move that much because you're moving. And if you look at this piece of concept art, the people are even looking at it. They're looking off to the side.
The little kid down here, that's going to be me. I'm going to be like, whoa, did you see that?
You're going to see this thing, but does it need to move?
I don't think so.
Maybe it needs to just go like this.
It's just going to be like on a push cart.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what it's going to be.
It's going to have a ride operator just doing it.
Yeah. I want to be the push cart guy for the werewolf coaster.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. I don't think this is going to be some elaborate animatronic because, again, you're going through the show scene. But with that aside, if it does look like that, that would be kind of cool. If it's that scale, you will be able to see it when you cruise through that.
If it's that scale and, like, you do the forced launch, right? And then you roll back. And as you roll back, the car turns so the one person will get the hand above you. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to love, like, oh, there's a hand above me.
Yeah, because it's going to be a slightly different experience because the coaster cars are going to be freely spinning.
Right.
I don't believe this is a controlled spin at all.
But once, like, the POVs drop, I'm not watching. Especially the big ride. Once the POV, I'm going to want to watch it, but I'm going to be like, I'm going to ride it in probably, like, a week.
I'm going to watch it because I'm crazy. And
You're
I'll
insane.
still get
I challenge you not to watch it.
Oh, man, it's gonna be so hard.
I challenge you to not watch it, so when you go ride it, it's brand new.
That's true, yeah. It's going to be very hard. But with this, this looks cool. The barn looks really nice. It looks like the werewolf is kind of tearing this place up. And, yeah, that's going to be a cute little family coaster, I think. Okay, that right there.
Entertainment.
We have walk-around characters, and this lovely lady seems to be playing, I think she's playing the hit song Espresso. That's what she's playing right now. And everyone around her clearly is enjoying it.
You know, I ate my words when this dropped a bit. Do you remember what I said?
No.
I said I kind of ate my words because I said I don't think Dark Universe will have any entertainment in it. I think you're going to get, like, Bride and Frank, and that's it.
Oh, no.
But when this dropped, I was like, well, I was wrong.
Universal's like, oh, really, Carter?
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a violinist?
Okay,
violinist
that's hanging out.
That's it. But just imagine for a second, right? You're walking down, you just entered, and off to the corner, there's a crowd watching a violinist.
Yeah.
When have we seen a violinist in a park?
Oh, it's been a while.
I can't think of it.
This is the kind of streetmosphere that will really... Sure, it's entertaining for people around, but this is what makes a land or world or whatever more realistic.
It's also great for the kids.
It's great for the kids. It's easy. They're not scared of this particular person. They might be scared of some of the monsters. And let's be real, some of the kids are going to be scared of this stuff. Like, hands down. There's going to be a lot of kids that will probably not go into this world, and that's a risk that Universal is willing to take because they know that a lot of us are going to go regardless.
But that's why Nintendo and Dragons is there, right?
And with these kind of characters, I think it's going to help bring some of those kids into and be like, no, it's okay. Like, we're not going to... This is not Halloween Horror Nights out here. This is just a village, and we're here to just, entertain you.
This land is not... If you think that this land gives HHN at all,
you're missing the point.
You're missing the entire point of what this is.
This is what this land is right here. It's this kind of stuff, atmospherics that are friendly, because these villagers living beyond what happened with the monsters.
Yeah.
But this right here, if they can keep this up, and this can be a regular thing in the land. With maybe not even just the violinist, but maybe there's someone else that plays a musical instrument hanging out.
This isn't the only one they show, too.
Yeah, they show other characters.
Musical instruments, I think this is the
only one, yeah. So maybe there's like a person playing a harp or something. You never know.
Yeah. You know what I want?
What?
Universal, if you're listening, you know what I want in your Monsters Land? I want a bagpipe.
They might do
Give
it.
me a bagpipe.
They might do
Come
it.
on, Universal.
They
Give
might
me
do
a
it.
bagpipe of a villager singing about the Universal monsters.
They might do it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. That's another point. The creatives, she just said that we can be family friendly, but we can also be PG-13.
That's the big thing.
I'm starting to be like, ooh, what are we talking about? You know, like this is gonna be cool.
Right, this land needs to be family friendly, right? Because it's a family friendly theme park.
Yeah.
In Florida, with a very family friendly competitive market, but also we need to appeal to adults and teens, who these characters appeal to.
Yeah.
So, what's the driving force behind this land? And she said it brilliantly. We can be PG-13. We can be PG. We can be family friendly, but we can also be PG-13.
Yeah. It's a good combo of both, because, yeah, they know that this is not a fantasy land. They're not going to be strictly catering to little kids. They want to also cater to us big kids that love horror. You know, like we love this stuff. So they're not. I'm glad they're not afraid to be scary.
Right.
They're obviously not Halloween Horror Nights where, like, you know, people are screaming and crying and there's gore everywhere. No, this is PG-13 horror. You got little jump scares here and there. You might be intimidated by some of the looks of the buildings, and that's all by design. I think it's a good choice. I think it's cool. In the original Epic Universe drop video, they talked about how each of the worlds brings something new to the different to the table. You have joy, you have fear, you have magic, and you have like adventure. And this is the one that's fear. So I think it's
pushing the boundaries of what we know theme parks can do, and the experiences that theme parks can bring, right? Going back to Tokyo Disney Sea for a second. When you walked into Mysterious Island for the first time, what'd you feel?
Mysterious Island felt like an otherworldly experience. It does feel like a space that you want to explore because there is mystery there. You're wondering what is around you, and then you look at some of the kineticism. You're wondering why is the water boiling? Are we on? Is this an active volcano? Like, okay, this ride vehicle just came out of the top of that volcano. What's going on in there? The soundscape, it all kind of like works together. So yeah, I can see why they wanted to call it Mysterious Island, and that vibe is there.
That vibe is there, and when I walked into that part of the land for the first time,
I cried.
I was like, I cried. I cried too. We went directly to Journey, and I was just like, this is real.
Oh yeah.
Like this is real. There's a volcano right there. And right below me is the biggest water feature of a theme park I've ever seen, and it connects everything. And I was just like, it's brilliant. And this,
it kind of gives off that vibe.
It gives off that the same vibe that Mysterious Island kind of gave me. I feel like when I walk into this for the first time, it's gonna be like, yes, it's gonna be the Hogsmeade feeling, like I was saying earlier.
Oh yeah,
but it's gonna be like, this is real.
Oh yeah.
I'm in a real place. Like this is.
Judging by the
legit
concept art, like you're already gonna feel this ominous kind of overarching theme, which is cool.
Yeah. Continuing on.
Okay, this fountain in the center. Love the fact that each of the worlds have some sort of water feature. So far, we don't really know about the Wizarding World, but this seems to be some sort of water feature or something. Nintendo has a fountain outside of that little area, and then obviously Donkey Kong has some water features.
Well, Donkey Kong has a lot.
Yeah, and then How to Train Your Dragon we know has water features as well, in addition to all the water features inside the park. So I'm a huge water dude. I love hardscape with water features. I love fountains. I love World of Color.
It's something we don't see enough.
No.
In modern day theme park design.
No, I mean, look at Disney. As much as we love Disney, like,
because it's really expensive, it's hard to maintain.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of it at Epcot. It had nothing to do with like, oh, this is our new vision. No, they got rid of it because they didn't want to spend the money on maintaining the Fountain of Nations. They could have done a whole new river thing going through there. They could have extended the journey of water elements into Epcot's hub, but no, they don't want to, and it's refreshing to see this.
A bush is a lot cheaper than a water fountain.
A bush is way cheaper, and this is a very tiny water feature in the grand scheme of things, but it does affect the overall mood of the world. It's nice to see some kineticism, whether it be fog, water.
You can kind of see it like spewing out fog, and it's red. So,
but the red here now. If we continue, this is where the red's gonna. I think this is some of these other YouTubers are right here. Great meet and greet space.
Bride and Frank,
classic,
obvious choice.
Yep.
We have them in Hollywood. Is Frankenstein out in Florida right now? I know Bride isn't.
Bride isn't. Let's see. I was out there not too long ago, and I don't remember seeing Frankenstein.
No, I don't think Frank is out there.
He's going to be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankenstein's monster is going to be there. Okay, so here they're going to show... Okay, here's another shot of just like the exteriors and the interiors of some of these buildings. This is...
Biddy Boppity Boutique.
Pretty much, yep. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but Universal style. And they tested this out at Universal Studios Florida.
Did they?
I believe it was for this. Because they did a makeup thing not too long ago.
I remember that. Yeah, they did.
I think this is why they did it.
Yeah.
They're seeing what... I hope it's going to be a little bit cheaper because it was pretty pricey.
And again,
it's expensive.
I think this is going to be expensive. I think this is going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
But again, this is a great thing for the kids, right? And even I would like to do this. I think it would be fun.
Heck yeah.
But when you boil it down, what is it? Face painting.
It's face painting, and it's also maybe some dress up. We got in the concept images. We have little kids all dressed up as
kids
their
in
favorite monster characters, but.
It's great for the kids.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
It's fantastic.
The interior of this is stellar, and I love the window in the background. If you notice, the window is shaped like a coffin. Yeah. It's almost like Tim Burton-y, too. Like, there's things around the land that are very Tim Burton-y.
It's total Tim Burton-y, and it will go brilliantly with the score of the land.
That was recently just announced.
Yeah, with Danny Elfman producing the music and the score for Dark Universe, which if you weren't hyped for this before, you should be a little hyped for it now, and if you were hyped for it before, you should be really hyped for it now and add it to your Spotify playlist once it drops.
Danny Elfman, he's a master at his craft, and I can't wait. That's another thing. I can't wait to hear all of the sounds. Like, what's it going to sound like in here?
The flyover, and I'm sure we'll talk about the flyover. We'll watch that next or something. But the flyover with the
music in the background.
With the music in the background.
Do you think that's
the
Danny?
Mysterious. I think it's Danny. I think it's the preview of what we're gonna get. But like, you think of iconic.
Oh yeah.
Theme park music, and I think when we hear this in the land, with the land, I think it's going to take our breath away, and it's going to be like, I need this music now.
Oh, yeah, they're going to probably sell all of this. But the interior of this shop looks, not the shop, it's an experience, but this looks really good. Really good. All of the things on the top of just all the little details are in every little space you look at inside a lot of these places, which is really cool.
Do you think it's going to be a show? Do you think it's like, okay, we're gonna just paint your face, or do you think it's gonna be like okay, so you want to be like Dracula, so we'll have to like bring out like the vampire, and we'll put a little vampire blood on you or whatever. Do you think it'll be like that?
They might do something like that, but what would be kind of cool, like with the vampires, if you want to be a vampire, what if they like put you in front of a mirror and you weren't there, like you were invisible?
That'd be so cool.
And your costume was just was there or something, something crazy like that, because those little details would make a huge difference. I mean, maybe
they have the patents for it.
Yeah, what they showed in this video is not everything, and that's with all the reveals of Epic Universe.
They're keeping a lot of things secret.
There's a lot of things that are very, very secret. We have creatures moving. There's a lot of things that are secret about this, and you could be right. They might have some sort of show element to this. especially at that price point, if they're going to keep the same price, they might do some show element.
Remember in the tribute store a couple years ago, they were like, submit your picture and we'll put you on a portrait.
They still do that, yeah.
Like they photoshopped you on a portrait and they stuck on the wall. It was like $150.
Yeah, they still do all that.
This is kind of like, this reminds me of that, but it's like, that price point is going to be steep.
Yeah, it's...
Especially if you're going to be like,
cheap.
Do you want a cape?
Yeah.
Do you want teeth?
And you know what? People are going to do it. Because, and myself included. Like, I'm going to do it.
That's a great video idea, Dylan.
Yeah.
I went to Dark Universe and I dressed up like a vampire.
And here's the thing, speaking of videos, because I love making videos for all of you, and trust me, when Epic Universe... we are... I've brought up this trip to Carter. I'm actively planning a massive Florida excursion, and Epic Universe will be at the forefront of that. So there will be plenty of Epic Universe coverage, but I think just from this world alone, there's going to be like 100,000 videos. I'm going to do a video on every little thing about this world.
Look at the crack in the wall.
Oh yeah, I mean, and speaking of cracks in the wall, here are some exterior shots of the quick service place that they're going to talk about, the Das Steakhouse. Now, go ahead and pause it right here, because this is also a wild shot.
What is this?
But go. Well, I'm going to talk about the previous shot, which was the exterior of the quick service and the shopping area, and yeah, the exteriors look gorgeous.
Yeah.
The exteriors are so well thought out, and the level of texture and detail that are just kind of riddled throughout Darkmoor is like next level.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking. Again, it's exactly what they've learned from all the Portal stuff. I mean, the entire park is basically what we've learned from Portal, and we're applying it to all these different IPs, and especially with Darkmoor, is so detailed, it's so textured, it's so ingrained in just story arc, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of storytelling going on, and they've listened to all of us, too. Like, when they go to the fans and they say, hey, what are you guys enjoying, what are you guys not enjoying, and hey, we want to see monster stuff and we want to feel like we're in these worlds.
It's a world building experience.
Yeah, well, here you go, and it looks just like it. But moving on from that, this is one of the interior shots. It looks like
is it the interior?
I think this is one of the interior shots, because why would they show this? This looks to be a section of the restaurant, because even in the video, they
turn this up real quick.
Okay, so this shot right here. Now, on the website, on the Epic Universe website, if we could pull it up right now, I believe they talk about. By the way, this quick service place is called Das Steakhouse, which is awesome, and you'll be able to get like kebabs here at this particular quick service place, which is brilliant. And I think other specialty items as well. But this right here is a very interesting piece of concept art, because I'm thinking this is somewhere inside the quick service location. And on the website, they talk about, there's a section of this that can be explored that shows off what is underneath this village. And apparently it's looking like the depths of hell are underneath this village. Okay, so we just pulled up the website, like what I was talking about, and when you click some of the details, because on the website they show off like the quick service place, they show off the makeup place, the ride, so on and so forth. But for Das Steakhouse, they talk about how you can sit and enjoy a meal, but it also says just be careful if you're going to venture off down into the catacombs, because you might see, and I think this is what you would you're going to see.
Catacombs.
Because why would they show this? So I think that there's other areas of the quick service place that you'll be able to explore, and you're going to walk up to some massive video wall that has like some depth effect, and you're going to see like hell.
It's got to be like Space 220.
It could be like Space 220, because if the scale is like that, right? That is going to be impressive to see.
Thanks for enjoying your meal. So now you're going to go down into the catacombs.
Yeah, now you're going to check out the underworld.
Yeah.
And if it's this like really scary red, like that is going to be so
that's insane.
Cool if they can pull that off.
Really insane.
I just don't know where the heck they're going to put this though.
It's going to be a multimedia
big
effect.
video wall. I mean, you can even see in the concept how they are building this decrepit wall around it, and then it'll have some. I'm sure it'll have some cool depth effect. Yeah, very similar to Space 220, probably.
Yeah. It's we're just kind of speechless.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really beautiful.
And then, like, you go down, you finish your steak on a steak, and they say steak on steak. So, you know I'm gonna get a steak on a steak.
Oh yeah.
In Dark Universe, and then go down, venture down into the catacombs, or like, could this be a dining room element? Do you think it's a dining room element?
It might be a dining room element, but they do show off parts of the dining room in the next segment.
They do.
The video, but yeah, it could be a totally different section.
When we talk about themed dining, a lot of themed dining is like this dining room is different, and this dining room is like the other one, but it's very different. And depending on where you sit, you kind of have a different experience.
It's kind of like a Be Our Guest.
Yeah, exactly.
This could be like that, where there's different rooms, which would be epic. Or maybe this is where the restrooms are in the restaurant. You have to go down to the catacombs to use the restroom.
You go down to the catacomb. Well, excuse me, where's the restroom? Oh, you're going to take
It's
a
in
right,
hell.
and then a left, and then another right, and then down to the depths of the catacomb.
And then I believe the next shot is the
dining room.
main dining-like view point. Okay, yeah, right here. And again, so many details. One really cool detail I love are the chandeliers with the wax melting. It looks
like
just like that.
It looks like this.
With the wax melting down from the chandeliers.
Yeah.
That looks really good. And even off the distance, I didn't even notice this when I watched the video first. But as I've been going back through the video, watching it again and again and again, off on the left-hand side there, you see the coffins coming out of the wall? There's like these massive coffins that are just kind of like about to fall down on your table.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. That's a great detail.
It's a great detail.
And again, with the candles the wax is melting down the sides of the brickwork there. And it looks like we are down in the catacombs. So I'm wondering if there's going to be an element where we walk down some stairs or something.
Probably.
To give the illusion that we're going further and
down into
wherever.
the catacombs.
Yeah, and we end up here.
Do you think Dracula will come and say hello?
I don't know if Dracula's going to come and say hello. Because, again, I don't know if Dracula is still...
A character dining?
Yeah, I don't know if he's able to go over in this spot, but... Just the look of this.
Just the look of this is
beautiful.
Is beautiful, it's elegant, but it's also dark and mysterious.
Yeah, it's kind of...
And it matches the rest of Darkmoor perfectly.
Gives off a scary vibe.
You know how much red wine they're gonna sell at this one?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, wow, that would
red
be,
wine they're
that
just
would be
gonna
a great drink to have there. Holy moly!
Here's your steak on a steak with a giant bottle of red wine.
Yeah, like here's some blood. You know.
So.
Oh dang! I'm sure they've thought again. They've shot like.
They thought of everything.
Again, they probably thought of everything. We're like not even halfway through the video. We're already just impressed with everything. Yeah, this particular creative person will have steaks on steaks. Gift shop looking really good there.
It's giving that Nocturne Alley vibe.
Very Nocturne
Alley. The shop in Nocturne Alley with the roof slanted down.
And look at the merchandise that they want to do as well. That's like, some of it looks kind of creepy. They have some Frankenstein's monster hands up there on the right-hand side.
Look at the chandelier.
The chandelier is
gorgeous.
Really pretty.
And this little bat guy, right?
Yeah,
Someone
top.
pointed this out on X. But the little bat guy appears all throughout this video in concept art.
What is that?
I don't know.